E ci siamo, signori e signori, ladies and gentlemen. We are live tonight with a very, very strange live because we will talk due lingue. Cercheremo di parlare un pochino di
Lingue.
Italian, a little bit of English. We will try to make all the people understand what we are saying because tonight, last week, we had the pleasure to host Michele Assirelli, a very important Italian player. But today we have the pleasure and the honor to host on our channel one of the most important player from Belgium. Ladies and gentlemen, make a round of applause for Gabriel Dinu. Ciao, Gabriel.
Hi guys,
Thank you
how
very
you
much
doing?
for being here today. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I-
It was a pleasure to meet you in Bologna at the Spring League, and I'm happy to be here on this podcast.
Exactly. Perché per le persone che magari non lo sapessero, noi e Dinu ci siamo incontrati proprio durante la Spring League dove siamo andati a cena assieme, abbiamo cominciato a parlare ovviamente di meta, di carte, di strategia, perché non si smette mai di imparare di fare networking and so we suddenly started thinking about what we can do together, and we really thought that the ban of Iram and Fortisphere was the perfect occasion to meet for the first time. But before going deep down the our live and talk about so many topics that we already have on our list, Gabriel, would you like to introduce yourself for the people that don't know you?
Yes, of course. So I'm Gabriel Dinu. I'm a competitive TCG player since 2017. I've started playing Magic, and I've been playing Lorcana since September or maybe the last summer. I went to Birmingham, made top 8 in my first DLC. That qualified me for Europeans, where I managed to sadly but happily finish ninth. So I'm one win short of being to the Worlds, but yeah, that's my path for now. Two big events and quite happy with the results so far.
Ninth. That's quite that's quite sad.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm not sad with it. I think I did my best, and the matchup is what it is. I'm happy with the work we put together, and the result is satisfying. I'm more happy with the consistency of what we um, can uh, can do throughout all the tournaments, rather than one big result and then falling down on other tournaments.
And how did Bologna went?
Bologna went quite well, I guess. I finished 35th, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, there was two losses I couldn't avoid against two very top players. That yeah, I couldn't do anything. There was a red blue that showed me Sisu on Sisu on Sisu when I saw their hand. So there was nothing to do, and there was a blue steel aggro player with four Pluto and four Shinpo. So there was
Ooh.
super hard for me to challenge through those. So yeah, those losses I couldn't afford. There was two draws I might have played better. I'm planning on reviewing those games. But yeah, five wins over 9 rounds. I think it's pretty solid still.
Yeah, and maybe we will arrive to talk about it. Maybe, of course, you played the green purple discard, which is one of
Yeah,
the deck you are currently working on with your team, and which one your team is one of the main inventor of this archetype. And I mean, we can say that also Bologna maybe arrived not in such a good spot for this deck, considering the meta, very, very red blue centered.
indeed, indeed. The meta was before the Iron Ban, of course. So red, blue, and blue steel heavy.
Yeah.
Blue steel aggro is not that much of a problem for the deck. I mean, you can see on ink deck that the matchup is not showing super great. It's like 38% win rate against aggro blue steel. But on our database of what my team collected, we have like super positive matchup over 60%, because like we figure out patterns and ways to play around. But for the IRAM based deck, super heavy in card advantage and drawing, it's not good for us because we cannot discard them. They'll always overdraw what we can discard, and we fall short quite often.
Ok, yeah, makes sense. Facciamo giusto brevemente un riassunto in italiano. Gabriel si è presentato, ha parlato dei suoi risultati, tra cui alcuni particolarmente notevoli di DLC come quello di Birmingham. Anche a Bologna ha performato particolarmente bene, comunque arrivando diciamo tra i primi 50 giocatori, tipo attorno al 38esimo, una roba del genere. Ci sono state 2 sconfitte che non potevi evitare contro appunto un mazzo di Sisu e contro dei bodyguard che in qualche modo non riusciva a togliere. E comunque stavamo considerando appunto che, considerando ovviamente prima del ban di Iram un meta tanto item centrico, Sisu centrico, sicuramente il Green Purple Discard, che è uno dei mazzi di cui lui assieme al suo team è, diciamo così, inventore e promotore, comunque ha performato particolarmente bene, nonostante appunto magari i matchup non sempre positivi. So Dinu, of course we can start this live but talking about the ban of Iram and Fortisphere that arrived very, very suddenly. I mean, not for the what was happening of playing in general, but because actually, considering that we don't have any news about the Worlds, we don't have any news about some DLCs on some major tournaments, these news arrived really, really suddenly, considering that the ban occurs from yesterday. So players don't have the time to adapt to this new meta. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I'm also very surprised that the ban is effective on the day of its announcement. Usually on TCGs, you have 1 week to adapt. So usually they announce ban on kind of Mondays or Thursdays, and you still have the weekend to play the deck one last time, and over a week to order maybe some other cards if you want to switch decks. So of course it kind of surprises me also, as you said, they're not communicating a lot recently over the worlds. So but at least it shows that they are taking they're taking the issue of the meta not being healthy seriously, and they addressed it with haste, and yeah, I'm kind of happy with how that turned.
Yeah, make completely sense. And so, are you happy considering that you are a green purple player that the ban occurred?
Very happy. I mean, for the deck, it means that the deck, I think, is gonna skyrocket to top tier 1 or tier even 0, because
Okay.
the only thing that keep the deck from being on top of the meta was those most played decks that are red, blue, and blue steel. Now without them in the field, or not being a problem at least, the deck is gonna be super good. Am I happy with it? I would have expected maybe some hit on this card,
Okay.
since that would have prevent, I think, the next meta from being also a struggle. I think maybe for set 8 they will do something for this card if it's too dominant. But yeah, I'm sure that they have a strong testing team, and it's well thought. So maybe they figure out ways to counter this card that doesn't involve IRAM and overdrawing what they can discard you.
Yeah, it makes completely sense. Sostanzialmente quello che stavamo dicendo con Dino è che ovviamente lui è contento del fatto che sia stato bannato Iram, anche perché in qualche modo apre e spalanca le porte a Green Purple per essere uno dei mazzi tier 1, se non addirittura tier 0, perché ovviamente se un mazzo ti fa scartare Iram, diciamo che è l'antagonista per eccellenza, rimane appunto sorpreso del fatto che Discard in qualche modo la meccanica non sia stata toccata, perché probabilmente adesso il meta andrà verso quella direzione, quindi potremmo ritornare non ad un livello bachicentrico, questo lo dico io, non lo ha detto lui, lo aggiungo, però comunque è una versione abbastanza tossica di versioni Discard. So, Dino, what do you think, considering that you are a very experienced trading card game player, what do you think really happened during the test? Because, I mean, it's clearly that something wrong happened during the testing of some cards, considering the addition of Sapphire Coil to Red Blue, considering the rise of Bell in Steel Blue item. What do you think happened during the testing, of course, in from the Ravensburger team?
I don't really know. I think the main problem was Bell, because before that, I said the Europeans, we knew that Red Blue was gonna be the most played deck, and we countered that by playing Green Purple aggro with Merfolks, Benzai. Benzai is super great in this matchup because it's a two drop two lower, questing for 2 and 3 power. They have very hard time dealing with that. But the problem is the drop of Bell, being a body that can be on board as soon as turn 1, completely denies those aggressive startings that usually beats control decks. Usually in TCGs, we say that aggro decks beat control decks beat combo decks, and combo decks beats aggro decks. So it's just a general rock, paper, scissors. In Lorcana, we don't have that much of combo decks. There's no much of one turn combo going crazy. But if a deck is too slow, too controlling, trying to set up too much, it's of course weak to aggro start, as dropping I don't know, Daisy maybe into Smee, or Merfolk into Bensai. So problem, yeah, I think Bell is the main reason why Red Blue was unchecked, because we couldn't we couldn't have the usual answer to it. Also, Red Blue, I mean Bell being a 3 drop, it's singing for 3. So in the steel decks, it's also very annoying because it kind of does the same. I mean, it's even worse. Even if you don't quest, your characters are gonna be taken care of by super effective songs like Let the Storm Rage On. So, yeah, Let the Storm Rage On song on a Merfolk or a Benzai is the worst that can happen. So yeah, the usual response to those decks that was aggro, it's not even good anymore. So that's why I think it went completely unchecked. Maybe Bell should have been at least non-inkable to really make the hand clunky and force them into maybe cutting Sisus or cutting Let the Storm Rage On.
Yeah.
But it's too good for now.
Do you think that maybe also Bell needed a ban or a nerf?
I mean, not anymore. Bell was just the glue that made you survive the first 3 turns until you can develop ERAM and really make a powerful draw engine out of ERAM synergies with items. I don't think that. I mean, you can ban either of them. ERAM is more problematic because it worked even well before Bell.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bell was just the something that make them safe for the first 3 turns where they used to have their weakness.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. So during the note yesterday on by Ravensburger, we also read that they were considering banning Popsicle too, but of course they decided to go with the Iram. Maybe banning the item would be a more balanced choice, or do you think it's right, like they did?
I think, yeah, Popsicle was strange to me when I first heard about Lorcana and when I first discovered the card. One of the first card that surprised me was Popsicle because it reminded me of Arkham Astrolabe from Magic. That is also a one-drop item that redraws itself and it's super powerful in synergies where you need bunch of items on the board to do something. For example, to activate Bell, to draw with Iram, also to have to be able to cast the Scourge for free.
Yep.
And those one-drop items that draw back something are kinda a problem if left unchecked. In Magic, Arkham Astrolabe got banned because of that, and I was waiting for Popsicle and Fortisfell to become overpowered. I was expecting that at some point of the game.
Yeah. I was considering that maybe if you ban Popsicle, you also have to make some errata cards like Nick Wilde from Rise of the Floodborn, you know, that says when you play it, you can take one Popsicle back. So if you ban Popsicle, you have to make an errata card from Nick Wilde, and you have to touch more cards. So, of course, Nick Wilde, it's not today a competitive choice, but who knows, maybe in the future. I really like Nick Wilde, and in Italian Wild we say selvaggio, but we say Nicola il Pazzo, which is Nick the Crazy. It's like a strange word game. Okay, so
Nicola Pazzo.
yeah, Nicola El Pazzo. So it makes completely sense. And of course, a lot of Lorcana players, a fire player, me too, are particularly sad about this ban. But we are here. And of course, let's make this first shout out of the day, of the night, for your METAFY profile. We can find the link here, but we will put it in the chat too. I will do it right now. And on your METAFY, we can find some guide. We have the set 6, of course, right now, free. But, of course, we have the set 7 version of GP Discard Control. It's very great guide. We already saw it. But, guys, ragazzi, soprattutto, se volete provare a masterare questo mazzo e vi interessa per provare a dare un po' una svolta dopo la morte, mettiamola così, di Iram, qui sopra in alto lo vedete, Dinu è stato così gentile da donarci per la serata di stasera un codice sconto del 10% per acquistare la sua guida, quindi lo trovate qui, potete andare direttamente sul suo METAFY e acquistare la guida e così provare a masterarlo. A proposito di, so now after we spam the METAFY, we just talk a little bit more about tournaments, because as you know, guys, the collected league of May 3rd is sold out. All the players have been filled. We will open a waiting list from tomorrow where you can join the waiting list, you know, if someone has to renounce to his tickets. And I think that it will be a very, very cool event, because it will be after the Ravensburg tournament, but it will be a quite big tournament because it's 128 player and with a new meta. And we really saw that a lot of people, after they saw about the ban of Iram, really wanted to join because they found the sparkle to play again. But also, and this is for buonasera agli amici di Lore League che ci aiutano ad organizzare questo torneo. But just for Italian fellas and people that we will come to that we will come to collected card show. Today we announce Esteban Cambiasso, Italian legend from Inter Milan, as main special guest of the event. So Esteban Cambiasso sarà all'evento, firmerà una carta speciale, vi dico già realizzata da chi? Da French Carlo Magno, nostro amico, anche lui di Disney Lorcana, per l'evento. È una card che è una hit, non ve la faccio vedere perché altrimenti vi spoilerò troppe cose, però è veramente bella. Quindi mi raccomando, venite al Collected, se siete interisti, ancora di più. So, this is the end of the spam moment, ADV moment.
In realtà no, perché c'è un'ultima cosa, ho messo in descrizione il METAFY, quindi non avete scuse, ragazzi.
Esatto, you can find the METAFY link to Dinu's profile in the description box down below. So you can go there, you can find the discount codes and purchase the guide. So, Italy loves Amber Steel. Iran Ban gave hope to the Steel Song dreamers. What do you think about this statement, Dinu?
Yeah, I like that many players actually, as you said, regained spark in playing the game because it was really exhausting and annoying seeing all those top 8 and top 16 being fooled with only the same 2 decks. So a lot of players that also didn't want to spend that much on the Tamatoas because they were like super expensive and wanted to play their pet deck still on their usual main deck. They can now like come back. For example, red purple players. I think they are super happy with those bans. And yeah, also Steel Song is one of the main comebacks I think we'll see because it was mainly gatekept by red blue, which used to be a historical 70-30 matchup, and now Steel Song can finally have its place in the top contenders.
Yeah. That's completely right. And so, considering that we talk about a little bit of decks until now, and considering we talk about the Steel Song, we would like also with the community and the people that are watching us live, talk a little bit about tier list. And so, going to the S, of course, which is the highest tier. To, of course, D, and we will go through each color, focusing, of course, on the most predominant one. But in the comments, they say, some people might disagree, but if we, as tournament organizers, are seeing an increase in tournament demand immediately after this ban wave, it means that probably it's a good thing, right? Ban always sucks and should be avoided, but mistakes happen. Yeah, I think that's really, really true. As I said some minutes ago, we saw that a lot of people really wanted to join the Collected League after the ban of Iran because they really wanted to play something different with different meta, and so I think that this is very, very good for the community. So Dinu, let's start with I would say the first color combination when we do not going by order, but let's talk very, very soon now about your color. Green purple discard. Where would you put this in combination and why?
I think if we're talking exclusively about green purple discard, I would put it in S tier. If we are talking about green purple in general and all its variances, including aggro and tempo variances, maybe only A tier. I would put the discard in S tier because it's extremely good against aggro decks because of all the amethyst package you need, the crab, the fox, also the creaky that helps getting a more challenge power. That's extremely good against everything that's aggro. You can easily wipe their board efficiently. and with the two best control and like drawing or late game decks being out of the picture, I think that green purple discard is now at the top of the meta, or at least contending with maybe two other decks at a top 3 tier 1 decks.
So you don't think that steel, I think that a lot of steel would be around yet. Don't you
Indeed.
think that this would be a problem for discard green purple?
Actually not. I mean, if the steel decks are playing mainly songs, there's no problem with that because we have Ursula turn 2 that discards songs, take care of that. You can always delay your shift, waiting for your Ursula to come, check their hands. If you can take the songs away, you can shift them. But sometimes you can completely avoid the shift line and
Yep.
focus on more board uh, controlling strategies. If you go Diablo, the purple Diablo turn 1 into the Diablo 2 bicolor, into Crab, into Genie, into Elsa, you're putting a lot of challenge pressure, and you can easily pick what you want to challenge with Elsa and do the best trades. So that line completely avoids Diablo, and that's fine like that. Sometimes even it's interesting to mulligan away the Diablo if you know that your opponent has too many songs, or maybe is playing Fire the Cannon, something like that. The deck is 56 cards out of Diablo that works pretty well together. So Diablo, it's just I think a cheap, actually free way to draw cards when you have it, but when you don't have it, you can still play a fair game without.
Ok. Quindi, breve riassunto per gli amici italiani a casa, cioè la maggior parte suppongo, Dinu sostiene che sostanzialmente Green Purple possa essere, in base alla versione che consideriamo, o S tier, quindi tier 0, se lo consideriamo nella sua versione di discard, o comunque tier A nelle altre sue versioni, anche magari un pochettino più aggro. Tra l'altro sostiene che non necessariamente la predominanza del grigio, o comunque la concomitanza ancora bella prepotente del grigio, possa essere un problema all'interno per questo meta, anche perché è vero che Diablo è uno dei motori di pesca di questo mazzo, però non è così, cioè è chiave, ma non è che senza Diablo non gira niente, e ha soprattutto delle linee in curva molto interessanti per andare a mettere un sacco di pressione, sia a livello di lore che a livello proprio di body e di presenza. Ovviamente successivamente approfondiremo anche questa parte qui, andremo a vedere le liste e le andremo ad approfondire. So, still talking about the kind of discard archetypes. What do you think about the also here we have to put two maybe
Yeah, for the aggro.
for the Chernadog
list,
kinda,
yeah.
and from the Lemon Lime version.
Yeah, I think the lemon lime is pretty strong. I think it was maybe higher as it was a counter of red blue at some point.
Okay.
Because it's discarding better than classic. I mean, other discard decks. They have access to the four drop action that make them discard 2.
Yep, you've forgotten me.
I forgot the name. Yeah, I actually forgot the name. It's you forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have access to going Prince John into You Forgotten Me, into sometimes Lucifer. So it really forces them to discard twice, then discard twice. It's super. It's more heavy in discard. They're making more card value. Problem with the deck, it's that it's super slow questing. It sometimes you can be on turn 10 and be only on 2 lore, because everything you have only sings, or if it's Prince John or the Muses, they are staying safe, so you always never quest. The deck also playing Kida and the Under the Sea combo can deal with aggro decks. and I have actually a fair matchup against the Discard also, because they can under the sea everything, and as they're also playing Diablo Prince John, they can keep up with you playing your own Discard Prince John. The muses are very good because they are also checking maybe Genie, Elsa, they're checking Diablo, they're checking everything that it's in Charna Dog actually, because it's super low strength and they can bounce a bunch of cards. So I would think the discard and the Charna Dog version would put them in A tier, I think. Both of them.
Okay, so let's keep it here. And what about the classical discard with the steel?
I think the classical discard with the steel might actually go to S tier, since it's also very good against aggro decks. I think the main meta will be either aggro decks or kinda tempo decks, because the more control each decks are out of the picture because of ERAM. And it's very good to have Ursula Deceiver of All singing Straight of Raging Fire, taking down two traits. That's a powerful board control tool they have. Of course, there is the morph that can be can have the Tinkerbell shifted on and take the board like that also. And also, yeah, it's a good way to counter green purple discard, because they have ways to kill your Diablo. You don't have much to kill theirs. You have like Genie Elsa, but it takes time to set up.
Okay, makes completely sense. And what about, so let's talk now about red blue, that was to be one of the highest tier of these rank. Where would you put it right now?
I
It's
think I
still
would maybe
A?
B or C. I don't know. It's so dependent on ERAM that it's really hard to tell if they're gonna keep do something. I still need to mention the Dinkan Fans version of the deck, because it didn't rely so much on ERAM.
Okay.
He played 3 in Melbourne, I think, but he said on Twitter that the original version of the deck only played 2 IRAM. Mainly the deck, the deck is based around putting the shark on the board and playing a card that draw back something else to, for example, develop your brain. You're just trying to put shark the next turn, cycle a bunch of um, vision of the future, drawing back vision of the future, drawing back how far I'll go, and keep keep the chain.
Keep watching for
So
cards.
yeah, but problem is that this version of the red blue, it's extremely weak against discard decks, because you're not drawing much, so they can empty quickly your hand, and once your hand is empty, they can just Bruno the shark, and yeah, it's out of the shark is out of the way, and they can do nothing about that.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, C, it's kind of fair.
Okay, let's go, Ski, let's go. And so, can be the meta where RP comes back once again?
I think it can come back, indeed. It can come back because of the Queen of Hearts. It's extremely good pair with the crab. It's it's a 2-drop 1/4. Yeah, 2-drop 1/4. It's extremely good because you can drop that on turn 2, and then you can crab, boost it, and take 3/3 bodies, such as Smee, Kaloon. All the meta revolves around the 3/3s. You have like Pete, you have, I don't know, everything, it's almost a 3/3. You know, you have the
we have
crab also.
Kaloon, we have
Yeah,
the
Kaloon, Smee mainly.
Yeah, but you need
Grammatala,
to
Bell
you need
also.
3 to shut it down. You
So
have Grandma Tala.
being able to boost with crab, then take something and pass the turn with actual 4 strength character, because it's gonna be like a 4/1 as having 3 damage on it. They can not either trade back in it. Often they don't have a small 1/1 to get rid of it. So the Queen of Hearts is gonna take down often 2 of their threats or be very annoying on the board. Um, yeah. Also, as it have one strength, when you boost it with crab, or even after its damage, it can challenge for 4 and take down Alice, Daisy, Nala. So it can really reach out to everything that is aggro and annoying in the metagame.
Okay, so we are coming back basically to set 3 meta, which was a lot of discard and a lot of RP. Perfect, which was the saddest moment of the meta for me, where I really wanted to quit, but it's okay, don't worry. So, Dino, where would you put these?
I would say, I don't know, maybe between S and A. A, I think it's fair enough.
Okay, so let's
Maybe
put
first
it in
A, first of the A's.
in a higher A tier.
Indeed.
And so, considering that we talk about RP, one of the biggest counter of RP has always been Steel Song, Amber Steel. Of course, here we have to talk a little bit about the kind of Steel Song version and that kind of Dwarf Mine version. What do you think about this color combination right now in the meta?
I think now it's better, since red blue is out of the picture. They are not. They were super weak to Sisu and Be Prepared. Also the Quill. The main problem of this song was that you wanted to empty your hand super quickly to go all new world, but when your opponent does the same by emptying their hand into their inkwell with Tipo, with Quill, then you kind of don't want a whole new world, because you will pass the turn for them to have 7 or 8 ink and a complete hand. So you're forced in a bad spot where you have 4 of your main cards that are non-inkable and you cannot actually play them. So that was the main problem of Steel Song against Red Blue.
Okay.
Now that Red Blue won't be played as much, I think that Steel Song can come back. Also Robin, something like that. Maybe even S tier, I think, because there is now Penny I really like with Smee, and Aurora, I think in English. It's really powerful combo of those 3 cards. Something we were trying to build was playing I'm Still Here with Me,
Okay.
since it gives its resistance for your turn and during your opponent's turn too. You can challenge other 3 trees with Smee surviving, then it doesn't take damage at the end of the turn, then they cannot challenge it back, so it's very painful. Penny kinda does the same. If you play Smee, then turn 3 you go Penny. You can challenge other Smees or anything that's a 3/3, doesn't take damage at the end of the turn. They cannot challenge it back, so it's really painful. And Aurore also benefits from you taking damage from characters with Penny and Rapunzel.
Which cards are we talking about, Dino?
There's a 3-drop singer, sing 5, 1/4, costing for 2.
Aurora.
I think.
Aurora, yes.
Yeah, Aurora. Yeah, in French it's Aurora, so that's why I was confused.
Oh yeah, so this
Aurora.
one.
Yeah, and as you take damage off of a character, you can
Untap
ready her, so you can sing another time. You can just like quest for 2 and then sing for 5, which is crazy. And having only Rapunzel as a healing effect was was not that great for consistency. But know that if you're playing 4 Rapunzel, 4 Penny, and only 2 Aurora, you can be fairly sure you will benefit from Aurora effect.
So
Okay.
Sawyer is a very good spot. Sorry guys, I have to go just one really quick. I come back. Giorgio, if you want to read the question,
Yeah.
we have one question and I will come back.
Yeah, we have a question from the chat. They asking you, what do you think the multiple archetypes discard purple is the best also against steel?
Yeah, I got that question a lot in DMs, actually, in comments on Twitter. People being surprised that I said that green purple discard is good against Team Song, because people often think that the main trait is Diablo. If you can kill Diablo, then you're fine. Problem with is that we have the Ursula that takes songs, and also we don't rely on Diablo. As I said, you can go on other lines. You can go the purple Diablo turn 1, which if they kill, you draw back a card. So
Yeah.
there's no much no interest for them to kill that. And then they are left with the fear of questing, since you can just grab, boost that Diablo, and make a really advantageous trade.
Yeah.
Then you can just go for a Genie. You can go for Elsa to take down often Cinderellas if you're afraid of them shifting Cinderellas. So I they will also keep often some songs to try to stay prepared for the Diablo to always have an answer. But if you're not shifting them, and if you are playing a game that where you're more patient than them, there's no problem. Even if they go the aggro route and they go for maybe Daisy into Smee into Lawrence,
There we land.
there's no much problem. You can deal with the Daisy with Fox. You can deal with me with Crab. You can deal with Lawrence with Fox also. And sometimes you can just be patient, develop a board, let them quest with everything, and just cricky and wipe at that tight point. There's no problem of them getting at maybe 14 or 15 lore if you can wipe the complete board at some point, by just playing cricky and dealing with everything.
That's true. That's true. I have to say to you that I've been a Stinson player since almost set 1. So seeing you putting Stinson in S tier is making me very, very, very happy. So of course I'm craving for the Iran ban, but I'm very happy to possibly come back to play that Stinson.
And one thing that I should say, I totally hate to play against green, and specifically against discard deck. So I am not that happy looking at this future month, especially looking forward to Sechamp, and I'm thinking like I'm probably going to face a lot of discard, and that's not something that make me that happy. So what thing is the best deck to actually try to counter those discard deck?
Yeah.
I mean, it was Iron, but it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
What can I say? I think we have maybe a hard time dealing with Robin Hood, the shift one, because it's extremely big. It takes a lot of cards to deal with. We can always go like Diablo, the big color Diablo turn 2, boost it with Crab or Creaky, and take down Robin that way, but the problem is that they will draw back a card, and we rely a lot of making as much card advantage as possible, avoiding your opponent from drawing cards, make sure they are always on empty hand.
Yep.
So Robins it's a problem. So I think that's why also some versions of Steel Song are pretty solid in this metagame. I think against this card there's not much to do. Maybe you can also play maybe more aggro decks. You just try to empty your hand and play with dogs. So when you top deck dogs, you kind of still going. The problem is that usual discard decks they don't have much questing power, or they don't have much challenging power. When you're playing green purple discard, you don't really have a board often. You're like having Morph's turn 2, you're having Ursula, Deceiver of All, Prince John, the Beast. They are not characters, maybe even the Muse. They are not characters you want to challenge with and you want to go fight the ground with. Yeah, now speaking of the purple green version, we have a much easier time dealing with aggro decks. So if you're facing other discard versions,
Mhm.
I think you can just go maybe aggro route. I think purple aggro is very good if you are playing the Genie Elsa game. It can really be good against those discards, because Genie Elsa take care really well of Diablo, and also there's nothing better to deal with Genie Elsa than Genie Elsa.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's often the one that starts, goes Genie, then you Elsa, you tap the Genie, you double trade, they double trade. Cannot go that way so often.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So we can go next with the third list. We talk about the ban of Iran. Let's talk also of the ban of the other cards. So the 40 sphere. Where would you put the blue steel in every kind of combination of these two colors?
Um, which deck? Which version of the deck are you exactly speaking
We can
about?
talk out. I think that the blue item is kind of that with Iram and 40
Yeah.
sphere ban. But what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think the blue item version, it's Iram doesn't hurt as much as Fortisphere, because if we take a look at what Zanside played last, won the tournament with, he was more relying on having 8 popsicles instead of 4, because it's super strong with Sheriff, with Scourge, uh, allowing you to flood the board with as many items as possible without emptying your hand. Those one drops item that draw are also super good with a Morix workshop, because you can actually just draw as much as you pay. If you have 2 Morris Workshop, then you pay 1 for the popsicle, you draw 1. If you pay 2, you draw 2. If you pay 3, you draw 3. So it's super efficient. IRAM hurts, but I think that IRAM plus 44 plus 44 hurts that deck to a point that it's not really playable in that version,
Yeah,
at least. Tamatoa, the new Tamatoa, used to be extremely good because of um, how many targets you had in the discard pile in blue steel. Now that you have only popsicles as targets, you're not picking up two one
yeah,
drop items that often anymore.
yeah.
So the whole
And
deck's
on the other-
kind of took. Yeah.
and the other hand, the aggro version, the Kiwi version.
Yeah, the aggro version I think is still decent. It didn't rely on IRAM that much because there are some versions that play the IRAM for a way to draw back cards and still be in the race. Other versions prefer dock because it's a cheaper way to draw back two cards and just empty your hand, float the board. I would say that you can fairly just trade all the IRAMs for dock. Problem is losing 40 sphere means that you won't be able to play belt on one as often as you used to. The deck doesn't have a one drop, so it's very. I mean, some deck play Mulan, but of course, Bell is better.
Yeah.
When you're playing an aggro deck, you rely a lot on having your turn one. So those 8 popsicle plus 40 sphere really allowed you to secure a belt on one as often as possible. Now that you're losing turn one on those decks, you may be back to playing the Mickey, the resist one Mickey. It's not that great. Yeah, it hurts the deck, but I think it's still super viable and playable.
Ok, I'm going to translate for our friends in Italian. So, quindi ci diceva Dinu che per quanto riguarda invece blu grigio, la versione item probabilmente sarà al limite dell'ingiocabile, in quanto l'hit vero e proprio non è tanto l'Iram, che comunque ovviamente fa il suo, ma è soprattutto la fortisfera che dà meno consistenza al mazzo, ti toglie un drop a 1 importante, ti dà meno consistenza al fare bel T1, soprattutto toglie un target fondamentale al nuovo Tamatoa, che adesso riprenderà con molta meno consistenza due item a costo 1 così forti dagli scarti. Quindi mettendo insieme le due cose probabilmente sarà totalmente ingiocabile, quindi ipotizziamo un basso tier D. A differenza invece la versione più aggro di Kiwi sarà ancora giocabile, ancora forte, perché appunto molte delle versioni di Kiwi non giocavano già Iram, ma preferivano giocare i dock, perché era una versione più cheap di Iram, che tutto sommato faceva lo stesso effetto. Di conseguenza, nelle versioni Kiwi, Iram può essere tranquillamente sostituito da dock. Il vero e proprio punto di debolezza del mazzo adesso diventa appunto il turno 1, che con la scomparsa di Fortisfera c'è meno consistenza nel turno 1, meno consistenza di Bell e c'è la mancanza di un vero e proprio drop a 1 che vada a sostituire la vita di Sfera. Qualcuno tornerà a giocare con più consistenza Mulan, qualcuno in Mickey con Resist, fatto sta che sono tutte e due drop a 1 molto più scarsi di Bell, e quindi l'hit soprattutto per il blu grigio è appunto nella scomparsa della Fortisfera. Quindi ci diceva il nostro amico Dinu che il blu grigio item lo mettiamo nella D.
Il blu grigio item D addirittura?
D, sì, unplayable.
Lo abbiamo proprio declassato così, let's go Ski.
Sì. Mentre l'aggro,
Grigio presidente.
where will you put the aggro version of the Kiwi?
The aggro version, maybe D, I think. Even in set 6, it was not a top contender, but definitely a solid rock deck. So I think C, I think is pretty fair for the aggro version. I think
Okay,
it's back somewhere at the spot it was in set 6.
and the item version in the D, right?
Yeah, item version, I think it's out of the picture now, sadly.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
not much.
Arrivo.
Sì. Another deck that took some popularity in the last few months was the Blarple, the Sapphire Amethyst. What do you think after the Iron ban? Where could it be positioned in this meta?
I think it's pretty solid. Actually, one of my teammates, Willie, is playing Blurple I mean, he's very known for Blurple for a couple of sets. He did the top 4 of the Lorca quest in France with it. So pretty solid Blurple player. And he said that yeah, the deck is extremely great now. I think it can compete fairly with Discard because it's a deck that has so much draw with the boons and rabbit package that it can overdraw what Discard can discard them. And they are not really hurt by those bans. Some decks are playing Pop Cycle into Bell and Shift Bell, actually, because it's extremely good in the shell. So yeah, it's not affected by either Iram or Fortisphere ban. And Blurper maybe had a hard time against Red Blue because of Sisu, because of yeah, mainly board wipes. So I think now it's a solid A. It's a solid A, I would say. I would put the other Steel Song aggro deck in a B tier, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you ranked both Red Blue and Blue Steel at the same level. Yeah, I meant the Blue Steel to go a little bit higher. The aggro
Oh.
version, at least. Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
aggro, let's put it in B.
Yeah, I think it's still solid.
Okay. So the dwarfs version of the Steel Song, A tier.
Yeah. The dwarf version is actually good. As you say, dwarf, I think happy is maybe a good way to replace the Fortisphere, to have a 1-drop, to have something that can deal with Diablo.
Okay.
So definitely, yeah.
So let's put Steel Song aggro in A.
Yeah, I don't really. I think if you're playing with the dwarfs, yeah, maybe something like that too. But yeah, the dwarfs, it's I don't know. I've never been a big fan of the deck. Maybe now, maybe now with Penny, it's gonna be better.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Penny and Aurora combo, it's so strong that the Steel Song version overcomes the dwarf version.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would leave it like that, I think, maybe.
Okay. That's good. So now we have like the what about in Purple Steel?
Purposely, I'm not a fan of the deck, as we've checked the win rate matrix of it and the results. It really come out short on beating the most played decks. So yeah, it's hard. It's super hard against Steel Song. I think mainly because your genie can be taken down by Zeus, and your Cobra, it's often taken down by Let the Storm Region. So it's very hard to set up and to develop a board. It's yeah. If you check the win rate matrix on Index, you can see that the decks doesn't have good matchups. It only has a fair matchup against the red blue item, but everything else is under 50%. So I would yeah, I would think rank that deck fairly low.
Okay.
Yeah, everything it's like yellow 40-ish% win rates, and
Yeah,
it's
here we are.
and the overall win rate, it's 49, carried by it having most matches against the red blue. But as red blue is not in top contenders of the meta anymore, it doesn't deal as well with the rest of the meta game.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of it.
So we probably put it in the C tier.
C, yeah, I think C is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I would go very, very quick on this one. There's nobody probably of this color combination.
Yeah.
Maybe Emerald Sapphire can be a
Emerald
thing.
Sapphire was something we tried very much to cook, but we didn't manage to come up with a version that was reliant enough against the whole field. Main reason why we try Emerald Sapphire is because it's good against the blue steel and red blue, with ink geyser emptying their inkwell. But now that the deck has lost its best matchups, I think it's also I think it's in this group of D decks that nobody wants to play anymore.
Yeah. And so probably also this other in combination.
Yeah, I think it.
Mufasa is died.
Yeah,
Is dead. And so
I,
I
d- I
would
don't
go.
I don't see any of those being played at maybe in a fall tournament for sure you can do something with it, but I don't see them being competitive enough.
Okay. So this is our tier list. So we'll see in the next weeks and tournaments, maybe with the Ravensburg tournament and the collected tournament, and maybe some others around the world in the next weekends, if our prediction is correct or not. I think that is pretty. It's pretty accurate. I feel a little bit depressed about it, but let's see what's next, because I'm really really excited of testing and trying more with the green purple build, the discard. I will study your guide for sure, as I said in the beginning of this live. And before the live, you sent me 2 lists of cards.
Yeah, indeed.
Of your version. This is the first one, which, correct me if I'm going wrong, is the last version of the deck you played to a tournament, and is like, it has some interesting cards like Has Set My Heart, but this version is setted and teched about the old meta.
Yeah.
Tell us more about it.
Indeed. So it was interesting to see also at the tournament in the US. There was this world class cards 5K tournament that Zero the Hero, so content creator, also local content creator, managed to top 4 with the discard pile and was playing Has Set My Heart and the Queen to beat those red blues, and manage actually to I think beat 3 red blues in rounds. So it was really impressive, and we actually made a video on my YouTube channel with him talking about those changes. Has Set My Heart mainly is a way to delay the ERAM. You can either destroy the popsicle. So they often go popsicle turn 1, turn 2. They will try to accelerate their inkwell with Tipo or Azure, and then IRAM on turn 4. You can delay the IRAM by destroying the item that way. So you can destroy the item, delay IRAM, then they will not do anything on turn 4, maybe play another item. Then you can shift Diablo, force them to brawl, so you delay the IRAM again. You can delay the IRAM as much as possible until the point maybe you can quickly empty their hand if you have hypnotized the busted shield. So that was the idea. Also, you can take down the coil, which won me a game actually, because often they will go coil turn 2 into Sisu turn 3 to deal with Diablo. If you destroy the coil, then they can't Sisu anymore. They are often forced to brawl, which leave them with non-inkables in hand. Sometimes, as you play as many non-inkables in red blue, you wanna sometimes ink the brawl, prefer play the Sisu to make sure that you ink every turn. Forcing them to play the brawl kinda makes them short on on ink, and sometimes can force them to ink Grammatala, which is very good in matchup, something like that. Also the goats. I was playing 2 goats because it's super hard for them to deal with goats. Sisu doesn't take it. There's not many cards that deal with goats. You have the fox. You can also bounce it back. So the plan was to try to lure a little bit more and close the game since we cannot play the value matchup. I cut a genie because it wasn't great in the matchup. It doesn't do much. It just it just draws back a card, but it's often dead before being able to sing or to quest once. So I traded the genie for goat and has set my heart. Lucifer was also there to make sure I'm heavier on this card. Because sometimes they can go empty-handed, find Tamatoa or Iram, draw 2 cards and pass the turn. Then Lucifer is gonna take care of both of them. And we had to cut some cards. We cut the Diablo turn 2 because it's weak to Sisu, and so on. And we prefer to cut Fox than Crab because Crab works too well with the 1 and 2 drops against aggro decks. So that
Okay.
was the version we were. I was on actually. Problem is that those matchups, red, blue, and blue steel, was so dominant that we were forced into playing bad cards of the deck. Has set my heart is not something you want to see against any other matchups.
Yeah.
Um, but it shows that how dominant those decks were and how much of a problem it was in the meta when you're forced to go to that extreme.
Yeah. And now we can go on to the second list you sent me, which is like kind of core structure of the deck. This is very, very gold, guys. So you guys that are watching this live are very, very lucky because we are talking about some top tier player and top tier list that is sharing his knowledge with us. So this is 47 cards at the moment in this
57.
57, yeah, 57. I don't know if you want to go through, just explain
Yeah, of course.
what is
No
going
problem.
on.
It's 57 because I think that's the core of the deck that it's really hard to change now. There are 3 flex slots that I didn't decide yet. I mean, not 100%. I have some interesting options, but I will actually update the guide with a post-ban IRAM version, including every option you can fill those slots with. So you can go either back to improvise or I don't know, maybe other cars. You can go also for Yago or anything that helps you in the meta game. It really also will depend on what do you face in your locals. If you have faced a lot of um, purple decks with Genie, Yago is a good way to deal with it. If you face a lot of purple steel, then improvise is also very good, and so on and so on. But for the core 57 cards, we're playing 12, actually 16 Diablos if we count the Diablo 3.
Yeah.
So it's 1/4 of the deck that is a Diablo. Everything it's almost 4 off. We're playing only 2 genies, 2 Prince John, because it's a non-inkable. It's often a card you don't want to see twice in a game. Even if when you have 2 of them, you rarely have the opportunity to play both of them. So it's fine having 2 of them, even though we are a discard deck and we like having 1 Prince John. Having 2
Okay.
of them hurts too much as being non-inkable. Creaky, 3 of them because it's actually
Strong.
super solid. Yeah,
Too
it's
strong.
too strong, too strong against those aggro decks. And the action and discard package is 16 cards that you almost cannot touch, because you need to have enough actions to shift Diablo. I would say that sweet spot I want the deck to be in is 10 non-inkables and 18 actions.
Okay.
So we are on 10 non-inkables for the moment with this
Yep.
list. So I wouldn't recommend putting other non-inkables in the flex slot. And I recommend trying to find out some actions to fill the gap, because you actually need to be on 18 actions. On 16 actions, you have some trouble with Mulligan.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
give us some insights about
Sure.
because we know that you are a maths teacher, so we
Indeed.
know that you probably put a lot of maths inside your decks and some of your calculates. So tell us more about it, because we are very, very curious.
I'm actually for a long time, even when I was in high school, I was a fan of Frank Carlston articles, going in depth in the numbers, in the mulligans, in the probabilities, trying to justify by not only feelings and intuition, but actual math, what was the best numbers. So that's what we did with this deck. We tried for the mulligans to figure out what will give you the highest chance of shifting Diablos, and so on. We run a Python code. We also use some tools that you can find online, such as I will drop you the links
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
in the
Sure.
chat,
Sure.
actually.
Thank you.
So
And
if
we will
there's
share
anything-
with the chat.
Come diciamo sempre ai nostri amici, la
La
matematica.
matematica.
La matematica.
So maybe you want to translate some of what I said meanwhile I'm
Sì,
checking for
allora,
the
vabbè,
decks.
sostanzialmente diceva che, vabbè, questa qua che stiamo vedendo sostanzialmente è il core del mazzo, 57 carte. Sostiene che 10 non-ink siano il numero giusto, che tendenzialmente sarebbe il caso di arrivare a 18 canzoni e azioni. In questo momento ce ne sono 16 all'interno del mazzo, perché è il bilanciamento corretto per poter cercare di avere la shift line di Diablo quasi sempre al mulligan. Io ovviamente gli ho chiesto, dal momento che Dinu è anche un insegnante di matematica, di portarci un pochettino più a fondo dietro queste piccolezze, che poi piccolezze non sono, soprattutto perché poi, a mio avviso, almeno fanno la differenza tra i giocatori mediocri e tra i giocatori buoni, i giocatori mediocri, i giocatori veramente forti. Sapere esattamente perché stai andando a mettere una carta, quante ne stai mettendo, perché, e soprattutto diceva una cosa molto vera e molto interessante, che a volte appunto alcune cose come la matematica sono più importanti anche delle sensazioni, dei feeling che tu hai sul mazzo. Quindi sebbene tu possa sentirti più confident in un modo piuttosto che in un altro, la matematica spesse volte ti dà ragione
O torto.
o torto. Adesso
Yeah.
ci sta cercando un tool che lui utilizza, perché col team utilizzano anche degli script Python, quindi capite bene che siamo a dei livelli proprio superiori di deck building rispetto ai nostri, e questo è molto molto interessante.
Sì.
E soprattutto ci diceva in particolar modo che è un mazzo molto quadrato, pieno di 4x, soltanto i precision sono a 2, perché è una carta che non vuoi vedere due volte all'interno della stessa partita, e che spesso magari se hai l'opportunità è una di quelle carte che scarti, appunto perché un po' ti si chianca in mano, per utilizzare un termine propriamente tecnico, in quanto appunto è una non incabile. E tra le varie carte che ci diceva, appunto, potrebbero essere lo spot da inserire tra le carte, diciamo tra le 3 carte che mancano. Ne citava 2. Una era appunto Improvise, magari se il meta è un pochettino più orientato allo stile Amethyst Steel, perché Improvise, ricordatevi che toglie il Cobra, che non è,
Sì.
che non è banale. E poi anche eventualmente il nuovo Iago, sia per tradare direttamente i geni, sia ovviamente per avere a che fare con gli altri Diablo.
Però ricordatevi, anche lui muore da improvise.
Esatto, anche lui muore da improvise perché ovviamente ha Vanish. Intanto salutiamo Lorcana Queen che è arrivata in chat. Lo mettiamo bello grande. Questa parte andrà poi nel VOD.
Sì, in chat avete di nuovo il link al METAFY di Dinu e a schermo vedete sempre il codice di sconto che lo vedete sopra la schermata di Arnaldo.
Una cosa, se non volete scriverlo, in descrizione trovate sia il link che il codice sconto da copiare ed incollare.
Esatto.
Perché so che siete pigri, quindi non avete veramente scuse.
I've dropped you guys in the guest chat the links to the two online tools for calculating
Eccoci
statistics.
qua. So, let's open another tab. Ok.
Okay, so this actually, yeah. Okay, so this actually, everything it's written down below how to design your deck. So actually, what you do, you just break down your deck. So for example, you can write Diablo 1, and put 8 copies of it because you have 8 one-drop Diablo.
Yep.
And then in hand you want at least 1, so the numbers go to 1. And then you can put Diablo 3, so the shifted Diablo. You have 4 in decks, you want 1.
Yep.
Then you can add a card, so just
Yep.
yeah. And then you can put maybe actions, yeah. You can put 18 of them.
Yep.
And then you can add a card.
Yep.
And put others, so what's left in the deck, so 60 minus 18 minus 8 minus 4, so it's 30 left in the deck.
Yep.
And you want 0 of that. And then you can calculate. So if you put 7, you can see what's your chances of having at least
What the fuck?
yeah, it's 21% of chance of having the shift line in your opening hand. And then you can just go higher. I mean, because you will mulligan. Often in this deck you mulligan 5 cards. So let's say you will see 13 or 14 cards. Yeah, you have like over 50% chance of having your entire shift line in your top 13 cards. So
And we are not considering on the draw the first and the second.
Also, we're not considering on the draw on the play. The statistics are actually higher because you can draw the you want to shift on 2, so you can draw the action or the Diablo 3 by turn 2. So on your first 2 draws,
So you have
if you're on the
15
draw,
possible
or
cards. You have actually, if you full mulligan, you have like 16 cards that you
you can also full mulligan. I'm not considering maybe full mulligan because if you have like 2 Diablos, you only mulligan 5. So if your action is the 4th card, you won't see it. So with just like averaging, those are really good tools to average. You're not precise down to the smallest percentage, but you have a fairly idea of what you're looking for in statistics. And the other link I sent, the first one, that's for like only 1 card. So population size is the number of set cards you have in the deck. So let's say you wanna Diablo, you have maybe 60 cards. Number of success in population, you have maybe 8 Diablo ones. You want the probability of having Diablo 1. Sample size, how many cards you will draw?
So
7.
Okay.
Yeah, and number of success in sample size, let's say 1.
What is this exactly?
One. It's the number of set cards you want, the successful card you want in your sample size. So if the sample size is 7, it's your hand, and you want at least one of the cards you're looking for.
Okay.
And maybe if you want 2, you can put 2. So that can be interesting. Maybe when you're looking to for aggro decks, when you want a daisy turn 1, daisy turn 2, then you can put 2, and you can have the chances of having double daisy.
Wow.
So yeah, to read that, you just need to read the chances of having at least one. So it's the last line. So it's x being greater or equal to 1. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's 65% chance of having a Diablo 1 turn 1.
Well, it's pretty high.
Okay.
It's pretty
Yeah.
pretty high.
And that can be used maybe when you try to figure out what mulligans do you want to do. So you can change the population size to 53. So what's left in the deck? Yeah, that one, 53.
Yep.
And then you can decide regarding your hand. Okay, now I have no Diablo ones, so I have
Okay.
8 left in the deck.
Yeah.
And then you can change the sample size to 5. If you want a mulligan 5, and you can see the probabilities of drawing in that said mulligan. And maybe you wanna go a little bit higher. You wanna mulligan 1 more, so you change the 5 to 6. And then you can compare that way. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it throwing back the other card I wanted to keep in hand? And what's the difference in percentage I will gain? So
Wow.
that's kind of tools I daily use to figure out mulligan strategies. I think mulligan in Lorcana is one of the most important aspects. Also, mulliganing properly in a known matchup, it's very important. And how you ink, because mulliganing and inking, I think they are on the same page. You're deciding on which card to give up and which card to keep as an option. So I want to be as precise as I can on those cards.
Yeah, like for example, let's see that now I just copy your
Yeah, indeed.
your deck just for going like and I add 2
can simulate
improvise and 1
mulligans or-
Diago just so we can say like a simulate mulligan.
Yeah.
Like okay, cut. Now you like this, you probably also, if you have 1 action, you probably mulligan 7, right? Yeah, of
6
course.
actually, yeah.
Keeping
Yeah.
the Diablo, you keep the Diablo in 1 action in this case, right?
Yeah, that I mean that's why the numbers are important, is because you need the action to shift. But
Yep.
are you more likely to draw Diablo 1 by mulliganing 5, or are you more likely to draw Diablo 1 plus an action by mulliganing 6? Because
Okay.
for the action you have a little bit of time, you can draw it later. You don't have to have it turn 1, you can have it turn 2. And when you're playing too low of action count, so when you're 16 or something like that, you need to keep those actions. But when you're on 18, 19, yeah, starting from 18, you can actually throw away the actions, and you gain a little bit of a percentage.
Okay. So, what would you mulligan in this case? What would you keep and what would you give away?
Keep Diablo, mulligan, everything else.
Also, you mulligan hypnotize and friends.
Everything else. Yeah, everything. Because I'm looking for shift line, and that's the way to maximize shift line.
Okay. Let's go ski.
I
And we
mean,
missed
shift
it.
line with Diablo 2, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
We have action Diablo 2 and improvise. It's not the best, but yeah, sometimes it happens like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try again. This is
Yeah,
probably
here
a little bit better.
this is good, but I still mulligan everything with Diablo.
Yeah. So,
But
like,
I'm at least I'm guaranteed Diablo 0 on turn 1. And now you see, even this hand is not bad. I don't have Diablo, but I have a way to play the game when I can go Diablo 0 turn 1. Then I can play either Ursula or Diablo, depending on what they ink and what they show me as colors. I can go crab into Diablo. I really have a game plan for the first 3 turns that is relevant and doesn't rely only on shifting Diablo.
Okay. Yeah. So the main tips is don't panic if you don't see the shift line Diablo and don't rely only on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you mulligan for it, but if you don't have it, you have to play the game without, and there's no problem with that. Yeah, same here. Everything with Diablo. But if you are, for example, in other matchups, if I know I'm playing against maybe a Steel Song or something like that, a Sting Song aggro, maybe especially I think purple Steel, since it's very aggro, I will keep the crab. I will keep the crab. I wanna go Diablo 0 into crab, and that's my best way to challenge their board. So here I will keep the crab, for example. And I'm looking for Diablo 2s to have a stronger turn 2 drop.
Io non stavo
This is
azzeccando mezzo,
this is
zio
fair
Piero.
enough. Yeah.
Do you think this is good
And
yet?
I mean, it's fair enough. It lacks a 2 drop, a stronger 2 drop, but it's I think it's not that bad actually. Also, when in those situations when you face either playing the green Diablo or the purple Diablo, often in the blind you rather prefer playing the purple Diablo because it gives you more options. With crab it's better. Green Diablo, it's only good when you're sure that you're gonna shift or you're looking to shift and you wanna check their hands to see if the way is open or if do you have to respect some actions. But if you're not looking to shift, then the purple Diablo it's a better setup for board state.
I want to ask you a thing. In a blind game, would you
Yeah.
mind not giving away the informations of your second color and maybe decide to ink a purple card and play the purple Diablo, knowing that you don't want to let the opponent know that you are GP?
Um, Actually, not. I don't. I value more keeping in hand the best options than
Hmm.
giving knowledge to my opponent. I think the knowledge is extremely relevant for the mulligan, but once the mulligan is done, they won't do much with the knowledge in that single turn.
Okay.
Um, because yeah, starting from turn 2 they will figure out the deck, so it will only impact what they will ink next turn. So I think it's too small of an advantage to throw away options. Yeah, I always also prefer to keep one card of each. So if I have multiple copies of asset card, I rather ink that and have like one crab in hand, one fox in hand, one Elsa, one Bruno, um, than inking then yeah, denying me the option to a certain card. So if I have two Elsa, one Bruno, I will think Inca Elsa. If I have one Elsa, two Bruno, I will probably keep Inca Bruno
Okay.
because they are doing kind of the same thing. There are 5 drops uh, removals or almost taking down almost everything, and I prefer to keep as many options as I can to always interact against my opponent. I don't want to be forced in a game when I don't choose what I play and I'm just spectating.
Yes.
Okay.
Some decks are like that when you're too heavy on non-inkables, it almost as you're playing TFT. You build the deck and you let it play and you watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, guys, it's clear that I can't use this deck. 3 Diablo in opening hands, Mulligan in 6. It's really hard.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, that's hard.
Now this is a good
Th-
end.
yeah, this is a good end. Actually, this is the harder ends because like, since you have everything, you have to be really careful what you keep because now you have options.
What would you keep here? Probably one Diablo.
Um,
One Diablo.
I think I'm not keeping 2 Diablos. I'm not keeping Prince John either. 2 Diablos. I don't think there's need for 2 Diablos. And the Yago, it's kind of too late. So I like just having a shift line plus a turn 2, and I'm looking for. The problem is that yes, we have turn 4 in hand, turn 3 is in hand. I mean, we have Diablo and Prince John, but there are non-inkables, and we're not sure we wanna do that. Maybe you wanna go something else. You might want to go Crab, boosting Diablo to deal with a Daisy, something like that. Crab also sometimes is good to play turn 3, even though you don't boost to trade anything, just for the body, because it will. You can go Crab turn 3, then you can go Genie, then turn 5 if you go Fox. The Crab leaving the board will boost the Genie. You can trade with Genie Fox, so you're not in a haste of using the ability of Crab when you play it. You can just leave it there. It will sing friends, be bounced by Fox, and do the job. So yeah, I'm happier with that hand. We can shift. We can shift and sing friends. That's the big deal. I think here I will probably ink Diablo. Yeah, I will certainly ink Diablo 2 to play Diablo 1, and then I will shift sing and probably draw in inkables for sure.
But did you draw the exact same cards he mulligan
Yes,
away?
we did. We did.
Okay.
I mean, we did, but we traded the Yago for friends, which is really good actually.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did like a +2 value on one card, which is great.
Also, something I want to talk quickly about is
Yeah.
often we try to keep Ursula in opening hand because steel decks were 50% of the meta game. There's a complete part when I talk about that in the guide, when I break down the meta game and the reason why you want to keep Ursula often in hand. When half of the meta game is playing songs, then Ursula becomes one chance out of two to be relevant. So it also protects Diablo, so you want to keep it. Know that that line might be changed depending on the upcoming meta. If there are less songs, then Ursula might be mulliganed away in the opening hand. But for now, we try to keep Ursula in hand in the blind.
Do you keep it
Because
always? Do you keep it also if you are on the draw? Or you
both, yeah, both.
both?
Both because they will never kill Diablo 1. They will wait for the shift.
Okay.
So we also keep the Ursula, yeah. Ragazzi
Yeah,
a casa,
depends of the
ricordatevelo.
upcoming meta. If you see that the next meta is gonna be if there are, I think, more than 50% of the decks that are playing steel with songs, then you can keep Ursula in opening hand.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. And so Krikri is one of the key piece of the deck because it helps you deal with a lot of aggro, with locations. It's very, very, very strong. Do you think that...
I do have another question. The
Vai.
thing is, I am not seeing Eden Cove.
Yes.
Is there a particular reason?
Yes. So the original creator of the deck, so Wahoo, he won the. So just to put a bit of context, he is playing Diablo for since set 4 or 5, I don't know, before the Bucky ban. So he made Bokum top 16 with it. Then he won with a green steel discard.
Yeah.
Then he won the Lorca quest with green steel discard. So he's very solid on those in this discard shell. And his opinion on Cove is that the card it's only good in some clutch spots. So maybe turn 2 to avoid brawl. Um, in very in very tiny windows where you can use Cove efficiently, but it's it doesn't do much in other situations. It doesn't give you lore. It's fairly weak and hard to easy to deal with. I mean, 6 is just 2 times 3, so you can send Kaloon plus a pit in it. Yeah, Cove doesn't do much. Maybe Cove will begin to be interesting as this deck rises in popularity. It can be interesting in mirrors because Diablo is a little bit stronger. It cannot be single-handedly taken down by Genie or Elsa, since if it's in the Cove. But the problem is like you can also play Creaky, kill the Cove quickly, and send Jenny in Diablo Steel. So the Cove doesn't do much. I don't really like the Cove either. You can argue that the Cove is inkable, so it's never a bad card. I said the problem is, as I said, I want to play Lorcana with the most options in hand, and having a card that does nothing 90% of the time just denies you an option. You don't have an actual card you can do something with. You just have a proxy ink card that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, okay.
So
Okay.
I want often cards that do something. If you pay close attention to the deck, there are 10 non-inkables in the middle of the deck actually, with Diablo, John, and Jenny. All 10 of them draws. You never have a inkable that doesn't do anything. At least it draws you cards back. So you're not never in an awful spot. Every card very often does something. Hasset My Heart was there only because of Red Blue being 1/4 of the matchups. So he did big work 1/4 of the time. So that's why. But I don't want a card that it's only clutch in 5 or 10% situations. 90% of them I will ink it.
Yeah, that's very, very important. And I think that there are a lot of insights about it. Of course, people can learn more in your masterclass on
Yeah.
METAFY. And there is the discount code here on the live, and there is also in the description box below. But before going and closing the live, I have a more general question about not about the deck, but about how a competitive team and players prepare for tournaments. What are your like, how do you organize your preparation? What are the key steps? And what do you do for preparing yourself at the best for a tournament?
Um, it depends on the teams, of course. I know that other teams in general, they have one day of the week that they are trying to go local, or they're trying to set one day of the week that they will be training as a team. Uh, I think the problem with the downside, at least of that method, is that you're playing in a sealed vacuum and a closed metagame, when you will develop decks and variants that are good within the playtest group. And then when you come to tournaments, you face regular metagames, and sometimes you're not prepared to those. So we are more into discussing decks, brainstorming together, and going out in the wild. So maybe Lorcanito, events, locals. Everyone tests against not teammates, but anyone outside the team. trying to figure out, does that work in a real environment, and in a situation, in a competitive situation. And then we come back and we discuss plays. Sometimes it's on stream, so we watch replays, try to figure out lines. There's I think a big benefits about uh, thinking, brainstorming and thinking with multiple players on a single hand. So often, instead of training 1 versus 1 and each one does its own thing, we try to someone to go Lorcanito stream, and then we watch his hand as 3 or 4 players, and we discuss the same point of view, but with different opinions.
Okay. And
So yeah, often we cover every option, because some of us are coming with certain aspects of the game, certain habits, and it opens your mind to lines that you didn't see, you will not see if you play only by yourself.
do you record all the results and make some maths on it, or?
Indeed, we record as much result as possible on tournaments and on playtests, and we're trying to do math with it, of course. Mainly, it's important at the start of a metagame. So this metagame, for example, or at the launch of a set, because there is not no data available on Index, because there are no tournaments played yet. So we're trying to forecast that and figure out what will the meta look like. Sometimes it's biased because we are playing on a lot of on Lorcanito, so the win rates are at a bit higher. But we just try to compare the win rates between each other.
Great, absolutely great. Ragazzi in chat, prima di concludere, avete domande da fare a Dinu che possiamo approfondire? Is something more, Dinu, that you want to cover about the deck?
No, not especially.
Good. Because
I would just say that yeah, I will update the deck by tomorrow with the ban of Iron and Pop. I mean the Iron and Fortisphere. The deck
Yeah.
will be updated for new versions, so
Okay.
people can play this weekend. They have a couple of days 2 days to figure out if they like it. I also recommend people reading the free guide we did after the Europeans, to get an idea of what the guide it looks like, how in depth we are going. If you like the form, then you will like the actual discard guide, because it's even more content. There are POVs of each matchup that you can watch. So if you like the free one, you will certainly like the actual discard guide.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Aspettiamo ancora qualche... Let's wait, so... If there are any other question in the chat. Otherwise, I think that we cover everything about the deck, about the current meta situation. And so, we guys, as we said, here's the guide. You can find all the information in the deck box, in the description box below. And so, I would say that there are not any other question. It's pretty late because tomorrow, people, let's go to work.
Indeed.
So, Dinu, thank you very much for being with us. It's been a great pleasure. I'm sure that a lot of people actually were in live, but I'm sure that a lot of other people will see this live and the other content that we will post during the weeks on YouTube. Okay, we got a question on the finishing line. What do you think about the possible addition of Kid Cloud Kicker in the deck, considering that we are going into Diablo discard meta?
Yeah, actually, Kid Claw Kicker is more a tempo setup. Kid Claw Kicker it's actually in the free guide about green purple aggro, and I'm explaining that it just gives you a little bit of space. So you wanna go turn one Merfolk, turn two Banzai, or turn two double Merfolk if you go that crazy. And then if they put anything that challenges the board a little bit, you wanna go Kit, just to give you a little bit of space and swing with everything. Then Kit will be able to sing friends, so it does something. But you're just trying to out tempo your opponent with Kit and take the lead, questing aggressively. In this deck, you're more trying to take control of the board, of everything. So Kit doesn't help that much. It just delays problems. If you bounce Diablo, they're just gonna replay it. I'm not fan of that answer. I think Diablo turn 2s are really good of taking care of Diablo. If they swing with Diablo, you just take the trade. So you have an early answer to other Diablos. And I don't think Kit is needed. In my opinion, Kit is a aggro card that gives you tempo.
Okay, yeah, more aggro than discard maybe.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Dinu, once again, thank you for being with us. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure that you will come again on this channel, maybe at the end
My
or
pleasure.
at some other point during this meta to talk about it, to talk about how the meta is going, and if in the end GP Discard, and we really hope will be a tier 0 deck. Ragazzi, grazie mille per essere stati con noi, è stato un piacere. Vi auguriamo una buona notte. Mi raccomando, domani alle 7, come sempre, nella vostra casella di posta troverete un nuovo episodio di The Tales Whispers. Venerdì nuovo video sul canale, e poi martedì, e poi giovedì, e poi venerdì. Vabbè, lo sapete, ormai conoscete la nostra programmazione. Mercoledì prossimo saremo comunque live. Cercheremo magari di portarvi un nuovo ospite. Ricordate che domani e dopodomani ci saranno gli altri 2 match della prima fase dell'All Star Game. Sarà molto interessante perché saranno di fatto i primi match streaming, almeno nostri in Italia, senza Iram, qualora qualcuno dei giocatori coinvolti lo dovesse giocare. Quindi mi raccomando, domani 21:30 canale Twitch di Lorcanita per il torneo All Stars, dove tutte le donazioni, ormai lo sapete, vengono date in beneficenza. Quindi non mancate. Io, come al solito, vi saluto. Io sono Arnaldo,
Lorenzo.
Io sono Giorgio.
e Dinu. Today
Dinu.
also
Grazie
Dinu,
mille,
and
grazie mille.
this is
Ciao.
Tales of Lorcana. Ciao a tutti.
Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao.